Welcome back to Hardball. If CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, is any indication of who the GOP wants to take on Hillary Clinton in 2016, then the right wing is on fire these days, and the establishment choices are looking pretty weak. Just take a look at the results of the annual CPAC straw poll over the weekend. Rand Paul won the straw poll for the third year in a row with 25% of the vote, third year in a row. Scott Walker, he's the comer here, he came in second. Ted Cruz came in third. Jeb Bush came in a distant fifth with 8%. That's 1 in 12. And New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who Republicans begged to run in 2012, came in 10th. And that was a pretty bad performance. He got 2%, 1 in 50. And the dismal support for the moderate wing of the Republican Party was reflected by the reception for Jeb Bush. Hear the noise. Hear the noise.
By the way, Jeb Bush, any supporters? You supported in-state tuition prices for those children of illegal immigrants that weren't citizens. Wait a minute. Hang on.
We should give them a path to legal status where they work and where they make a contribution to our society.
Look,
that's what we need to be focused on.
Okay. A lot of reaction.
Joining the roundtable right now is the Washington Post opinion writer Jonathan Capehart, Lauren Victoria Burke, who's managing editor of Politics 365, and Paul Singer is the Washington correspondent for U.S. Today. We haven't had you on before, Lauren, so I want to know your views. I tell you, I know it's just CPAC,
right?
But I smell another 64, another Goldwater year where they don't care about winning. They want to show their gutsy attitude of anger against illegal immigrants or immigrants generally,
right,
and their anger against the Republican establishment. They don't like people like Bush or Boehner.
Well, I think that Scott Walker, even though he is the little star, sort of the it guy right now, frankly, the person who won the straw poll is the person who's been doing some compromising with Democrats, which would be Rand Paul. That's the thing that people sort of forget in this. The straw poll does matter. I think it does matter that Rand Paul is the only person there who has reached out actually to Democrats. And yeah, sure, Scott Walker's ahead now. He's the it guy now, but he's kind of the Jeremy Lin of the moment, the guy that's the star now. But everybody has that.
Kind of the what?
The Jeremy Lin of the moment. He's kind of the star right now, but my thing is that, yeah,
Okay, well,
my thing is that it'll be somebody else next week.
Someone who believes he's the sleeper that's going to win this thing.
Really?
I would put an asterisk next to the Rand Paul win. The Pauls always win straw polls.
Right, so because libertarians show up.
Right,
And college,
and college kids. And so, of course, Rand Paul is going to win. I mean, it's no surprise that Jeb Bush, Chris Christie...
It's the reason why Hillary and I both, in our own separate ways, were for Goldwater as kids, because there's something unbelievably attractive about libertarianism when you have no responsibilities, no needs, you're healthy and young, and everything looks like blue skies. Well, I want to be a libertarian.
Well, remember, though, the C in CPAC stands for conservative. So it's no surprise that Chris Christie is way back, that Jeb Bush is way back, or that he was even booed.
Is this Richie Havens? I'm going to get one of his analysis. The word C comes from conservative.
But, I mean, we can't
Okay,
pretend.
I get it. It's not, but is there another Republican Party besides CPAC? Where is this moderate Republican Party meeting this week?
There's a money party. There's a money party, and the money party is not the CPAC party. I mean, the folks who are lining up their money to give to either Jeb Bush or some of the more serious, I guess we would call them establishment candidates, those guys aren't at CPAC ranting and raving. They are sitting in Wall Street. They are sitting in a lot of places around the country on golf courses, talking quietly and writing large checks.
But don't you think it's interesting that the thing that Jeb Bush gets beat up for, which is being too moderate, Rand Paul is actually the person who's reached out, who's joined on legislation with Cory Booker, who's doing criminal justice reform. I mean,
Where's Rand Paul on immigration, the red hot?
Well, he's doing the red meat. I think he's doing the red meat on immigration.
Well,
but still, you've got some substantive issues there when he reaches out.
He's married to a woman from Mexico. His kids are basically Hispanic kids. They look Hispanic. When he speaks about states in the union, he refers to Latinos with a Spanish accent. He is so in your face in terms of his appreciation for assimilation and the Spanish role in our society to the point of practice, using the accent. I mean, he's like a local anchor person who does that. No politician I know who's a so-called Anglo does this except him.
Well, this is the thing that I think will be great for Jeb Bush if he can make it through the primaries and win the nomination. Because
where does he win the primary? Which primary does he win with that very pro?
That's a very good question. I don't think he has to win something before he gets to Florida. He could win in Iowa, I think. Or
he could win. Certainly could win in New Hampshire, right?
Right.
I mean, if Rick Santorum or someone else or Huckabee takes the religious conservatives in Iowa,
you want to pay some money on this? There's money to be made here, sir. You're new to this show. There is money to be made. I think even coming in the money is good for him in Iowa, let alone coming in first. Anyway, yesterday on Fox News Sunday, Scott Walker was put on the spot over his evolving position on the hot topic of immigration. Here he is.
Over the years, you have supported comprehensive immigration reform and a right to citizenship for people who pay penalties, this for the 11 million people who are in this country illegally.
Can you envision a world where, with the right penalties and waiting periods and meet the requirements, where those people could get citizenship?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense.
Question, isn't that amnesty?
Walker says, of course, he opposes amnesty, but that his position on immigration has changed. He said it's changed in the last couple of years. Here he is.
My view has changed. I'm flat out saying it. Candidates can say that. Sometimes they don't. I'm saying.
So you've changed from 2013?
Absolutely. I look at the problems we've experienced over the last few years. I've talked to governors on the border and others out there. I've talked to people all across America. And the concerns I have is that we need to secure the border. We ultimately need to put in place a system that works, a legal immigration system that works. And part of doing this, put the onus on employers, getting them E-Verify and tools to do that. But I don't think you do it through amnesty.
What do you think of this?
That's a loser for them. They've got to get the Hispanic vote. At some point, that outreach thing that Reince Priebus has been talking about, that's got to get real in terms of policy.
But they don't want black people voting. Why would they go for Hispanic?
How about that? How about that?
How do you explain? You're just saying this so logically. They spend more time on voter suppression and voter ID laws than you can imagine. 36 states. Reince Priebus is leading the band on this. And you say, oh, welcome in. Oh, by the way, you can't vote.
But you'll see, I mean, this is the sort of thing where politicians, Obama evolved on gay marriage, right?
Well, people do evolve. Let's not be cynical.
I'm cynical for a living.
But you've been living out there carrying the banner for equality, what, 30, 40 years ago? What? When you were born?
Well, and this is the thing, is you know, somebody,
Hillary Clinton, I said, went from a Goldwater conservative to being an anti-war liberal under G. McCarthy. Guess who else did that? Me. So I mean, people do change their politics as they grow up.
Well, you can change your policies as you grow up, but I'm getting shades of Mitt Romney here.
Right.
You're for something, then you're against something because you need it politically,
and then
and then you're going to change it back because suddenly you realize that the party needs Latino voters. They need to make the party open and welcoming.
Did he say he was against the path to citizenship, or he did wanted these other components to be part of it? Because if he wants the other components, he is right in the American mainstream. If he wants it all, a path to citizenship, stop the illegal hiring of people, that makes sense. That's my position. So I'm not sure he has excluded a path to citizenship, has he?
I'm not sure. I don't know. That's part of the problem.
And they should stay and they should work here in some way. But
I think the word comprehensive should still be our guide. Do it all. Do it all. The roundtable is staying with us. And up next, John Boehner's in a bind, and it's going to be hard for him to get out of it. He's in trouble. He's in real trouble. This is Hardball, a place for politics.